Tensions from the latest Old Firm showdown have spilled far beyond the pitch, with the fallout from the weekend's fiery encounter continuing to dominate the headlines. After chaotic scenes marred the high-stakes clash, attention has quickly turned to the authorities and how the situation will be handled moving forward. Now, Police Scotland have finally broken their silence, addressing the controversial incidents that unfolded and the potential consequences that could follow. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. The fallout from the latest Old Firm clash continues to dominate the conversation in Scottish football after chaotic scenes at Ibrox during the weekend's Scottish Cup quarter-final. What should have been remembered purely as a dramatic contest between the country's fiercest rivals instead descended into disorder after the final whistle, prompting serious concern from authorities and reigniting debate around supporter safety and stadium operations. Celtic ultimately progressed after defeating Rangers on penalties, but the result triggered a pitch invasion involving supporters from both ends of the ground. The incidents quickly escalated into confrontations that required intervention from stewards and police officers, with multiple flashpoints reported inside the stadium as tensions boiled over. In the days since the match, Police Scotland have broken their silence on the situation, warning that the scale of the away support seen at Ibrox is unlikely to be repeated in the near future. 9 arrests have already been confirmed in connection with the disorder, although authorities expect that number to rise as further investigations continue. Emma Croft, Chief Superintendent of Police Scotland's Greater Glasgow Division, indicated that the events of Sunday will play a major role in future discussions about away allocations at Old Firm fixtures. Celtic are due to host Rangers in the Scottish Premiership in the coming weeks, with both clubs previously agreeing to allocate 5% of stadium capacity to visiting supporters, roughly 2,500 tickets for away fans. However, the significantly larger allocation granted for the cup tie, around 7,500 Celtic supporters at Ibrox, was only permitted to comply with Scottish Cup regulations. In light of the scenes that unfolded, Croft suggested that number is no longer considered workable. Speaking about the possibility of repeating such a large away allocation, she admitted that police would play an important role in any decision moving forward. Croft explained that the disorder seen at the weekend inevitably changes the starting point for future conversations. She stated, "I couldn't comment on that because it wouldn't be me that made the decision, but I would say to you that we will have a part to play in that conversation." When asked directly whether the incidents had damaged the prospects of large away allocations returning, Croft made it clear that the events would weigh heavily in any assessment. "I would say it plays into and leads the conversation moving forward and probably puts us in a position whereby we cannot have what happened on Sunday," she said. "So our starting position is that number of away fans is not workable with currently." Pressed further on whether she would personally allow such numbers again if it were her call, Croft was blunt in her response. "No, not at this current time." The disorder also resulted in injuries among officers working inside the stadium. Croft confirmed that 3 or 4 police officers had already reported injuries during the disturbances, although that number could yet increase as further reports are processed. Despite the scale of the trouble, Croft defended the policing operation on the day, insisting there were sufficient officers deployed inside the stadium, as well as additional personnel available outside to respond if required. "My view was there were enough police officers within the stadium and a flex within those police officers as to what their duties would be, and a sizable number of police officers out with ready to support," she explained. However, she also highlighted the broader challenges facing policing resources, stressing that stadium security must remain a shared responsibility rather than relying solely on increased police presence. "I don't have the luxury of a significant number of officers," Croft added. The club operations should be in a position to respond, and we will support that accordingly. I'm not, in a view, wanting to put more police officers into stadiums. I don't think it's the right thing to do. In other news, James Tavernier's future at Rangers remains a subject of increasing intrigue as the club approaches another pivotal summer, with the long-serving captain eager to prolong his stay at Ibrox if the opportunity presents itself. The 34-year-old, who has been a central figure for the Glasgow side for nearly a decade, is understood to be open to signing a new contract should Rangers decide to offer him one. As he looks to bring his distinguished playing career to a close at the club, he is represented with such distinction. Despite his legendary status among supporters, Tavernier's role has come under greater scrutiny in recent months. Under manager Danny Rowe, the experienced right-back has seen his minutes become more limited, signaling the possibility of a gradual transition within the squad. Nevertheless, his influence around the dressing room and his leadership on and off the pitch remain widely recognised within the club. A difficult moment arrived during Rangers' Scottish Cup quarter-final exit to Celtic, when Tavernier stepped up to take the opening penalty in the shootout. His miss handed Rangers the worst possible start in the decisive moment, though it has done little to tarnish a reputation built on years of consistency, goals and leadership from right back. Over the course of his Rangers career, Tavernier has delivered countless crucial contributions and remains one of the most productive defenders the club has ever had. Former Manchester United chief scout Mick Brown believes Tavernier still commands enormous respect within the corridors of power at Ibrox, both for his performances on the pitch and his standing within the dressing room. James Tavernier will want to stay at Rangers if he has the choice, Brown explained. At 34 years old, I don't think he's considering moving elsewhere because it takes time to settle in and adapt to a new club, new surroundings. He knows Rangers like the back of his hand, he's the club captain, and he's a very influential voice there. I don't see why he'd throw that away at this stage. Tavernier's desire to remain in Glasgow appears clear. Having spent the most significant years of his career at Ibrox, he is believed to feel settled both professionally and personally and would welcome the chance to extend his time with the club. For a player approaching the twilight of his career, stability and familiarity carry significant weight. Obviously, it will depend on whether Rangers are going to offer him a new deal, Brown added. But I think he'll want to sign it if they do, because he is happy there. He's coming towards the end of his career, and it would make sense for that to be at Rangers. Even if he drops out of the side, he still has a role to play. At present, however, discussions over a new contract have yet to take place. With Tavernier's current deal approaching its conclusion, the situation means he would be free to leave the club at the end of the season if no agreement is reached. While the player's stance appears straightforward, the club's decision is likely to hinge on broader strategic considerations. Rangers are expected to undergo a busy summer as they assess the long-term direction of the squad, particularly with several positions potentially requiring reinforcements. Age has inevitably become part of the conversation surrounding Tavernier, with decision-makers weighing the benefits of his experience against the possibility of transitioning toward younger options in the position. For now, the focus within the club remains firmly on matters on the pitch. Rangers continue to chase the Scottish Premiership title and remain locked in a fierce battle with Celtic and Hearts. Sitting 6 points behind the league leaders, every fixture carries enormous significance as the campaign enters its decisive phase. That competitive context has also played a role in delaying contract discussions. Rangers are believed to prefer waiting until the conclusion of the season before opening formal talks, allowing the club hierarchy to evaluate their ambitions and squad structure with greater clarity. Even with reduced playing time, Tavernier's value to the group is not in doubt. His experience, leadership, and deep understanding of the club continue to make him a significant presence in the dressing room. Rangers are therefore reluctant to see such an influential figure depart for nothing, though speculation surrounding his future has surfaced repeatedly in recent years. Ultimately, the decision may come down to timing and planning. Tavernier has made it clear that he would welcome the opportunity to extend his Rangers journey, but until the club decides whether to table a new deal, the possibility of an emotional farewell at the end of the season cannot be ruled out. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.